Recorded live at 4ZZZ Studios Brisbane on 102.1 FM.
And broadcast across Australia on the Community Radio Network.
You're listening to Z Games.
With 10 years experience and over 500 episodes,
Z Games brings you the best in gaming news, reviews, community and culture.
Want to reach out? Message us on Facebook at ZEDGamesAU.
it's Z Games. I'm Maylee, and I'm here in the studio with
Zahra!
and Ezie.
Hello.
Whoa! How are we all doing?
I'm feeling great. I just watched the first 3 episodes of the new Castlevania season just before coming in.
I was going to start watching that tonight, so...
It's
I'm
worth...
7 episodes in.
It's... Zara, your mic needs to be turned up a little bit.
Does it?
Yeah, no. There we go. We got it now. Excellent. Can you say something?
Hello.
There we go.
Hi, Zara.
I'm louder than ever.
I was like, wait a minute. I can hear you in one ear, but not the other ear. But there we go. We're all good. Technical difficulties. Back to Castlevania.
Castlevania. Whoa. I'm very excited. I've heard a lot of good things. Seen a lot of good art.
I'm 7 episodes in. I have 3 episodes left.
You're 7? Okay, I'm only
Yeah.
3 episodes in.
It's a very good where I'm up to. I won't say anything, but it's very good. And a character I love is getting good treatment.
Nice.
Which you definitely need to be assured of in Castlevania, because a lot of people do not get
Yeah.
treated.
No.
Yeah.
They're having a bad day.
Actually, when I pushed play on the first episode this afternoon, I realized it was set, like, as it pops up on Netflix, it gives you like the rating in the top left, and it's like R18 plus, high impact horror, gore.
Cool.
Like, it's just like, oh yeah, it's definitely those things.
Yeah. It's pretty good though.
Anything anybody else has been playing or watching?
I've been very into deep dives into various like video game icebergs. Like lately I've gotten into the Minecraft iceberg. And
Explain.
So you know how there's like surface level stuff that everyone knows about? It's kind of like, bees are trans.
Yes, everyone knows
Yes,
that.
Yeah,
the bees are
everyone knows
trans. The bees
that.
in Minecraft are trans. There's Herobrine, who's like this spooky dude who supposedly would turn an old urban legend. But there's like way deeper stuff, like a cult managed to infiltrate the Minecraft world when really it's just the woo noise from Age of Empires 2.
So basically, you're just getting into Minecraft conspiracy theories.
Yes.
Okay, all right. A different kind of tip.
Sounds
It's like a tip of the iceberg, and like
It just and the
conspiracy
deeper
way.
and you have the stuff that's under the water and it just gets more and more. I'm not too sure about this one.
the Illuminati now own shares in Minecraft. It just gets really out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Maylee? What are you doing?
Before I started Castlevania, I just binged the entire season of Invincible. I
Ooh.
don't know if either of you know what that is.
No.
My sisters watched it.
It kind of blew me away. It kind of... I
You're lost for
can't
words.
express. Yeah. But I will say that the violence in that desensitized me, so Castlevania doesn't hit hard anymore.
Okay, what's this
Wow.
called? Invincible.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm writing that down. Okay, cool. Just so I know to watch that later.
For the
For the
incredible
obviously,
amount of gore.
yeah, for the
That's
high
all that
impact.
you need to know.
High
I'm sold.
impact gore.
I don't know if that's everybody's thing, but I can't handle horror, but I can handle animation if it's horror.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm totally fine with that, but not if it's like... This is like totally off topic, but yeah, just thought I'd mention it.
No, I get that.
I can understand that, yeah.
Anyway, I think we can go on like this for the whole hour, but
Yeah,
we
we could.
probably
Could.
should get into some news first.
Let's hear it.
This week in gaming news, Disco Elysium gains R18 plus rating. Fans of the critically acclaimed RPG Disco Elysium will now be able to purchase the game physically and on consoles within Australia. Disco Elysium had already been available through digital platforms such as Steam for 2 years previously. However, the game had never been submitted for a formal classification rating. Without a formal classification rating, games cannot be sold on consoles or physically within Australia. And with the game's depiction of heavy drug usage, and the main character inflicting wounds himself, going through the process of obtaining a classification rating has its challenges. After a review, however, the game's ban has been overturned and has now been given an R18 plus classification, as although the dark themes and drug references have high impact, the review board found that Disco Elysium's narrative disincentivizes players from taking drugs throughout the overarching game. Although it means only adults can buy the game on consoles within Australia, it does mean that the game can now actually be available on consoles. 20% of Nintendo Switch sales went to households that already owned one. Households seem to like having more than one Nintendo Switch console. Looking at the last financial year, 20% of Nintendo Switch sales were for households that already owned one. That means about 5.8 million sales in the last year were for a secondary console, potentially as a gift for children or a partner, or to have a dedicated system on the go in the case of the Switch Lite. With gaming increasing in popularity during the COVID-19 pandemic, for entertainment, escapism, or as a form of socializing, it's little wonder that console sales have reflected that. Discord becoming more inclusive. Discord is going through a lot of changes at the moment to make the app more accessible, easier to use, and friendlier, not only for gamers, but also for all communities. With 78% of Discord users reporting using the app for non-game purposes, there are channels for just about every hobby and interest out there, such as gardening, movies, sewing, book clubs, cooking, and so much more. To assist in this, stage channels are getting visual upgrades and a dedicated space to allow these communities to market themselves to interested users. This discovery space will allow people to browse communities and join servers they're interested in. And now for some upcoming game releases. May 19th brings Days Gone for the PC, Elite Dangerous Odyssey expansion for the PC, and Never Yield for the PC and Switch. May 20, you see Grand Casino Tycoon for the PC, Just Die Already for the PC, PS4, Xbox One and Switch, Luxuna for the PC, Mayhem in Single Valley for the PC, Of Bird and Cage for the PC, Puzzle Bobble VR Vacation Odyssey for the Oculus Quest. May 21 has Knockout City for the PC, PS4, Xbox One and Switch, Miitopia for the Switch, and Rust for the PS4 and Xbox One. And on May 25th, An Airport for Aliens currently run by dogs for the PC and Xbox Series X, Biomutant for the PC, PS4, Xbox One, King of Seas for the PC, PS4, Xbox One and Switch, Maneater for the Switch, Very Very Valet for the Switch. That's it this week in gaming news.
Thanks, Zahra.
You're welcome.
The news has been done.
Yeah, I just smashed that one out.
I was gonna say this before the show started when I was reading up on the news this week, and I wanted to save it till I was on air because I realized 20% of Nintendo Switch sales went to households that already owned one during the pandemic. So that means 20% of what I'm going to make a huge assumption here and assume that it was mostly parents who have 2 children or maybe even another adult that acts like a child.
Yeah.
And they needed to get an extra Switch to separate the kids because they're all at home and they're like, okay, this isn't great. We need to buy more of these things.
You know, I technically contributed to that 20% because I wanted to upgrade from the Switch Lite to the normal Switch.
Oh, the regular Switch.
Yeah. And to do that, I had to be able to transfer all my save data to the new Switch, which means I needed to have both Switches at the same time. So technically, for about 48 hours, I did have 2 Switches.
For 48 hours, you contributed 20%.
Yeah.
You were the 1 in 5 Switch purchasers.
I really was.
Already had Switches.
Well, I live in a share house, and when it started happening, when the lockdown started going down, we just all went out and bought a Switch. Just everyone in my house. So
that may
would have all
contributed
contributed
as
to
well. I already had a Switch, so I felt quite comfortable. It was Natalie, my partner, who decided that Switch was also now hers.
I mean,
during COVID. She's
well,
like, yoink. Mine?
It is what it is.
It is what it is. Discord becoming more inclusive. So 78% of people who actually use the Discord app don't even game. Who are you? Get off.
What?
I think it's actually really interesting because, like, in the past, for, like, chat apps, we've had things like Skype, which was not good.
So I'm having bad memories over here.
I could still hear like the ringing noise that when it like whoops at you, and it's no wonder that a lot of people ended up switching over to Discord.
Yeah.
But also there's TeamSpeak, which is still around, apparently, I hear. Which is sort of like a really simplified... It just serves one purpose, right? Which is good. But I think Discord... Like, we run the whole show out of Discord, pretty much.
Yeah.
Not live, but, like, you know, we organise and produce the show here via Discord. So I understand that it's really good for communities and, like, organising and stuff like that. And I think it's really sweet that it's grown into something more than just a gaming orientated platform, and that it's now something for everyone. Yeah,
it makes a lot of sense because of the way that you can set up your channels with the servers with all the channels and everything. So it's like a community space, basically.
An online gathering.
Yeah,
online gathering. Yeah,
Oh.
It's a bit like that. I'm curious to see how it integrates with PlayStation, since Sony have
oh, that's right.
acquired Discord partnership and so on. So that should be interesting to see how that works out.
It's ominous.
Yeah, ominous.
I mean,
But could
Alarming.
be good.
I mean, Discord's also updated their logo/font,
Yeah,
so it's going through a lot of changes right now.
It's growing. It's adapting. You know.
so proud of
Yeah,
little
but-
Discord all
And
grown
there's-
up.
And they're so cute in their little community updates when they're like, I know this seems really lame.
It sounds like we're just
but-"
doing an ad for Discord.
Yeah, it does a little bit. We're not.
We're not.
Z Games is not, you know,
We're not
paid
affiliated with
yeah.
Discord in any
don't
way.
That's
get paid
right,
to do that.
affiliated, not affiliated.
Except we run the whole show on Discord.
Yeah, we're
That's
just
the
a
platform
fan
we
of
use.
Discord. It's very useful.
Yeah.
All opinions on this show are purely, you know, individual, and, you know, we don't get sponsored by, you know, big companies or anything like that. So you can trust that all our opinions are genuine and ours.
Yeah.
And you can trust that when I say I don't like the new Discord logo, you know I mean it. I
means it.
I miss it having its little
This is raw,
antennas.
real
It's now
truth.
just got blocks.
I kind of like it. It looks like an Xbox controller.
Oh my gosh.
No.
You guys
No.
have to fight now.
Yeah. Ding
Well,
ding.
while they fight,
Where's that Skype sound?
I'm
that
gonna
goes
put
off?
it on
So it's like the sound that initiates the fight. Yeah.
We are Z Games.
we are Z Games.
We are Z Games.
We are Z Games.
We're gonna chant now.
Uh,
Z Games.
we're all going to be talking about something, aren't we?
Yeah, we're gonna be talking about multiplayer games and couch co-op games today.
Well, couch co-op or multi. This has
The
been
same
a
thing.
sticking point in the
Every
conversation.
couch co-op is a multiplayer game.
Yeah. It's just a type of multiplayer game.
It's a different flavor. It's like, you know how there's like
Well, what's the
versus
difference?
It's a subgenre.
Come on, someone
There's no
explain.
difference. It's a
Cooperative.
subgenre.
Yeah.
But what is the category of couch co-op?
Couch co-op.
Yeah.
What is co-op? Some people might not know that it's couch cooperative. All right.
All right. If you
like-
have thoughts about this, can you text in on 0420 626 733? Let us know what you think a couch co-op is.
Or you could just message us on the Z Games Facebook page as well, at ZEDGamesAU.
However you contact us, just make sure you
If it's across the void telepathically.
come in and let us know that Easie's wrong.
Yeah.
Well, no, I didn't say I was wrong. I just said, you know, just it's a subcategory
Oh,
that
you
I
didn't-
would like to discuss. That's all I was getting at. Jeez.
Anyway, multiplayer games are games that you play with more than one person.
You can see we work well as a team. So
Yeah.
we're-
I
yeah,
me.
we just ganged up
I
on
just
you
got
there.
cancelled.
Sorry. But what are some multiplayer games that we've been playing recently?
I've brought this game a lot on the show, and it seems honestly a little obsessive at this point that I feel like I have a reason to bring it up every show I'm on. But Dead by Daylight. I've been playing a lot of Dead by Daylight.
What's that again? No, never mind.
Ouch.
Oh.
That's fair.
Another good multiplayer game that also happens to be a couch co-op is Overcooked.
Overcooked's pretty good.
Yeah, Overcooked is up there with some of
It's
the best multiplayer games.
delightfully chaotic, incredibly stressful. Everyone is yelling at each other. Something's on fire.
If you
It's a
don't,
good game.
yeah, if you don't know what
What more can you want?
Overcooked is, it is actually an Australian-made game. So is same with Moving Out. They're the same developers. Overcooked is you and a bunch of friends on a couch, and you've got to run a kitchen. Usually very poorly under very stressful situations, such as, you know, rats coming in and stealing your onion as you need to chop them, or then you're doing it in a hot air balloon, or then you're doing it on ice, or it's like it progresses in difficulty and insanity, and it's delightfully stressful.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful artistically as well. So that's probably one of the best couch co-ops I can think of.
It's very good.
Yeah. What about you, Zara? What you play multiplayer games? I know you love Destiny. I know that's a multiplayer game.
I wasn't going to mention Destiny.
Yeah, I did it for you.
Hey, I was going to mention Minecraft.
Oh, okay. Yep.
That is up there with one of the greats.
It's
of all time.
true.
Yeah, exactly. Like, so much fun to come together with people. You've got this random plot of land, and you're all like, okay, you know what? I'm going to build a mine. And someone like, I will build an airship, and it's going to be functional.
Well,
and
if-
someone else.
If you're in Minecraft, what are you building?
If I am building a nice house for everyone to live in,
Oh, how wholesome.
about
customizing
you,
everybody's
Ezie?
rooms.
What's your Minecraft plan?
Well, see, you're going to be like, oh no, that's so sad, because I actually can't play Minecraft because the way that it's sort of really low res actually gives me motion sick.
This
is
is
really
so
sad.
tragic.
I find it really disorientating to
What if-
play.
What if you just got all those like shaders that make it photorealistic?
The super, like,
Yeah.
your computer will end up launching itself to space, but it
You'll
would
get
make
to play
Minecraft
5
playable for
minutes.
you.
I mean, I could do that. I don't know. I used to play on a tablet, actually. So I had it on a
Really?
tablet, and I quite like that because I just build things while I was in my
Well,
bed, like, doo-doo-doo.
Okay, more broadly, in that sort of cooperative, endless survival style, what?
How would you provide for the
Okay, I
island?
can give an example from Ark Survival Evolved because I
Yeah.
played a lot of that game. There's a lot of building going on in there. And I think what I would contribute the most is the ability to knock out a dinosaur and then tame it and make it my pet. There you go.
There-
That's what I
Well,
would
damn, that is.
I will
that
provide
is
you
very
dinosaurs.
extremely important
It is
to
extremely important.
the community.
You
We sh-
need, certain dinosaurs for protection,
Yeah.
and now I can provide that for you. Ark is a fantastic game. It's really hard to get into. It's probably got quite a large learning curve, and in terms of like just general, it's not the greatest to get in. You kind of need to know someone already in there to sort
yeah.
of guide you through the servers. It's a bit
But once you get
complicated.
into it, you can easily lose hours
Yeah.
into the game, days,
I did lose
weeks.
about 600 hours of my life to that. So
Oh.
yeah, I did play quite a lot of Ark Survival Evolved.
Ark's
Yeah.
pretty good. Minecraft's pretty good.
Monster Hunter World, also, which we have spoken at length about this
Yeah.
year already. Fantastic cooperative game. Actually,
It's-
I only exclusively have played it pretty much multiplayer. I haven't really played it much solo.
It's
fair.
the Monster Hunter is best played with friends. It's just you get more bombs, more hunting.
It's also like more stylized, right? Like there's
Yeah.
so much more action happening when you've got a team of people with you. And I think that's the same for Rainbow Siege 6. I know I haven't played a lot of it, but same with Overwatch in that it's team orientated and you sort
Back
of
in the day.
combine your abilities together to create cool action shots.
You're all like your own characters, basically, with your own different play styles, and you're all working together in a really cool way, doing cool stuff.
You know what else I've been playing a lot of lately? That might hint.
Uh-oh.
I don't know why I said that 3 times, but hint at something coming up later in the show. But I've been playing and loving Don't Starve Together.
Oh
It's
yeah.
one of my
Together.
favorite multiplayer games.
It's actually in the top 10
I adore that
co-op
game.
games. I mean, multiplayer games that you should play as well.
Yeah.
I've not survived well in Don't Starve Together. I appear to be the kind of person that can only don't starve alone. But I love the games so much. It's addictive.
There's just so much.
There's so much.
But in that game, in Minecraft, in any game,
Yeah.
I did the same thing. I just make my little farm and cook my soup. That's my job.
I love making
Aw.
flower crowns for people and being like, here, stay sane.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Something else that's a little wholesome like that, that's probably the most popular mainstream cooperative game that people really got into during the COVID pandemic lockdown was Animal Crossing. That's
For some
probably
reason, I thought you were going to say Among Us.
well, that too, ish.
Well, Animal Crossing sort of lies in a weird zone where it is multiplayer, but like the gameplay isn't multiplayer.
Yeah.
You can just go and hang out with someone.
Well, in terms of bringing community together, and
That is
Yeah.
true.
it has that multiplayer
But the
capacity of the social
game
aspect.
itself, like the things you do that are game mechanics, aren't really multiplayer. You can just
true.
do them in company.
You can just
have
give people your
seen
turnips.
People very creatively create sort of new games within Animal Crossing using what you can do in the multiplayer lobby space
Ooh.
to create their own multiplayer experience that was actually a lot more engaging than just exploring each other's islands and watering the
The old
flowers.
run around and hit people with a net tag.
Yes, but also sort of like a relay race kind of thing, an obstacle course. It was actually really interesting, and I thought about trying to do that, but then I thought, no.
Mini-games.
No. This is Zed Games. I'm Maylee, and as I mentioned earlier, I hinted earlier, I didn't say it, but we've got a review from Rani for the game Don't Starve Together, and I hope it's positive, or me and Rani will have to fight to see who has the superior Don't Starve opinion. Anyway, friends, here is Don't Starve Together review by Rani.
Don't Starve Together is the standalone multiplayer expansion of the wilderness survival game Don't Starve by Klee Entertainment. It's refreshing to see an expansion game that stands alone and doesn't require you to purchase the original game in order to play it. In fact, Don't Starve Together is the only Don't Starve game that I've ever played. When it comes to the story, Don't Starve Together is bursting with narrative threads and character arcs. Don't Starve Together is a continuation of the storyline from the original Don't Starve game. But don't worry if you haven't played the first game, because the story is not immediately consequential to your experience as a player, and everything you need to know can be found on the wiki pages or in the plethora of YouTube videos out there. Remember, I haven't played any other Don't Starve game, and I did fine. So, I'm sure if you've been paying attention to any of my previous reviews, you'd remember that I am notoriously bad at survival games. So why am I reviewing another one? Well, maybe I'm a masochist. Maybe they just seem to be the easiest games for me to get my hands on. But when I say that I'm notoriously bad at survival games, I mean I die in the first 2 minutes. That's how bad I am. That's because most survival games don't take the time to walk you through all of the different mechanics and expect you to actually survive. Unfortunately, I can't remember if there was a tutorial for Don't Starve Together, because I don't think I got one. And that's okay. It's not really too much of an issue, though as a player with a little bit of a cognitive disability, it can be difficult. But the great thing about Don't Starve Together is that it has a massive wiki for you to look through. So the first time I played this game was way back in 2016 when it was initially released. And I was playing with a friend. It did not go well, and I did not enjoy my time. But I'd attribute most of this to the fact that I'm bad at survival games and the person I was playing with had also never played Don't Starve Together before. I don't even think they'd played Don't Starve before. And there weren't nearly as many resources for the game as there are now. Despite all of that though, the game is pretty forgiving, and I've managed to survive an entire season. Unlike its prequel, Don't Starve Together lets you play with others, which is the best part of the game, and basically the whole reason it exists. You get a lot of control over how you make your worlds, how many friends you want to play with, and what mode you want to play in. You can play in survival, wilderness, and endless mode. Each of those modes are fairly relaxed, with survival being the default mode of play, and probably the hardest. We played in survival mode, and it's kind of difficult to find some resurrecting stuff, but mostly I'm a very cautious player, and so I'm a bit too scared to explore far on my own, so when my friend died, we didn't really focus on trying to resurrect them. This means that playing in a cooperative manner as well gives me the best chance of enjoying the game, because I don't have to be super stressed out. For example, I didn't focus on any of the fighting aspect of the game. I let my friend do that. I love music, and of course, full disclosure here, I can't hear a lot of music when playing, especially when I was playing Don't Starve Together. And that's mostly because I had to be able to communicate with my other players, so I wasn't able to hear the music because I had it turned down. Oh, the wonders of being a deaf gamer. But what I did hear, I really enjoyed. Like almost every other game you will ever play, the music gives you some good cues as to the situation that you're in. Like, when I attacked some creature and the music switched from the idle perpetual motion to more intense battle music, I knew what was up. I also really appreciated that there were visual cues on screen for when I was being attacked, because I legitimately couldn't hear those sorts of things. I love Don't Starve Together. I think it's the one survival game that I know I will come back to because it's such a lovely way to have some fun with friends. The art style is gorgeous, the gameplay is forgiving, and there's so much content that you won't be exhausting the game anytime soon. It's a game that's been in my game library for a long time, but one that I haven't had too many people to play with. I would definitely recommend getting a few friends together that can afford to get the game or already have it and spend a day just playing and surviving together. There's a lot to craft and learn. I haven't even been able to dip into the recipes yet. I can't wait to get to that part of the game because I've really been enjoying the crafting aspect of the game. We played on PC, but you can also play on PS4, Xbox One, Mac, and even Linux.
Z Games.
Z Games.
Z Games.
I love that.
Games.
We should practice that. Get that up.
Harmonise.
Yeah.
No.
Have like a barbershop quartet in here.
We're not like the Dykes on Mics where they actually harmonise really quite well when they come in on the intro. That's not us.
But we
Yeah, I can't. I
could.
can't harmonise.
we could if we just believe.
We believe.
But I don't believe. That's
Oh.
the problem.
Well,
I'm letting
fine.
us down.
But I do believe in Z Games' incredible analysis of multiplayer games, which we
Yes.
did this evening.
yes, multiplayer games fun. Very sometimes chaos.
And
Complete madness.
couch co-op is a subgenre of multiplayer games and not a
Yes.
separate genre.
Yes.
Okay, all right. We've confirmed it. There's no need to go over it.
We've done the science. We've got the results back. Couch co-ops and multiplayer games.
Moving on now.
All right. I think
I was just going to say before we bounce that if there's anything you've missed from the show tonight, you can head over to the Z Games Facebook page at ZEDGamesAU. There will be posts up there of reviews and the news and also our podcast, which is
everything you could ever want.
And
everything you
memes.
And there's a bunch
There's
of
so
memes.
many memes.
I usually post roughly 4 to 7 memes a week.
You
which is
know,
quite a lot of memes.
when I see those memes,
the memes.
I actually, forcibly exhale through my nose.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
that's
a pretty
like
big
physical reaction.
Yeah.
So the memes are good.
Yeah,
the
that
memes are
good.
good. Mhm.
That good.
They're so good. Anyway, at ZEDGamesAU, check it out.
Well, I will miss you, dear listeners.
Goodbye to listeners.
Goodbye.
For one more week.
Oh, we'll be back.
Yeah, we'll
next
return.
week.
Sometime.
You can't get rid of us.
Thanks for listening to Z Games.
If you'd like to listen to more, check out our podcast on Spotify.
Or follow us on social media at ZEDGamesAU.
See you next time.